All right, so Ashley has nothing and 31 points to spend. All right, from what I remember, it's better to get access to something than it is to level it up. So let's expand that. Wait, they're saying that she's already got that? All right, she already has that. So let's upgrade disruptor ammo. Give her access to that. We'll give her concussive shot. And then we'll give her marksman. That's actually pretty nice. But I have a feeling what I'm going to want to do the most is alliance officer. So 15% there. All right. So that's one of everything. Let's see. Disruptor ammo, concussive shot. It's good against barriers. I don't know how I want to go with her. Let's take a look. Sorry that I'm just not coming up with this off the top of my head, but I don't know. Feels like this is going to be a really nice move. What's the damage? 100 damage per second right now. Does it say for how long? Oh, it does. I'm just stupid. 100 damage over 8 seconds, so that's 800 damage. Let's see. Health damage bonus. Bring down your enemy's barriers and shields. I mean, I could just specialize her already. They give me so many points to start that I have to think about it. Then concussive shot is good against barriers only. And then marksman is... I mean, this is so good. Recharge speed, boost weapon accuracy, and firing rate for a short time. A lot of this is so good. And then alliance officer, what are we looking at? What's specific? All right, so I feel like marksman's probably the better way to go right now. At least to start. We'll get 3 levels there. It lasts for a long time. It can be recharged, so it's almost half the time that should be active. That sounds good to me there. And then disruptor ammo is probably the better way to go. Improves the odds of stunning the target by 15%. All right. And then we'll get that up to level 3. I feel like I should do some points in Alliance Officer, so we'll do that and that. So she's up 45% there. So she is usually my tank. You know what? We'll just kind of stick with that. Disruptor ammo. Inferno grenade can be so good, though, I bet. We'll stick with what I started, though. Squad mates get disruptor ammo at 50% effectiveness or increase health damage bonus. You know what? That might be... yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm spraying out too thin, I'm sure. But let's upgrade this. Damage per second increased. And radius or damage? Probably damage is better there. Yeah, and then we'll just save 3 points. All right, let's take a look at James. James already has fortification, reinforced armor using protective Foucault currents. Sure. Purge the current and send its charge to your gauntlets for increased melee damage. Slow down power use. He's my melee guy? Not sure I like that. Rear part with a shrapnel-packed grenade, incendiary ammo, carnage, rip a target into shreds with this vicious blast. Major collateral damage to enemies nearby, effective against armor. All right, so once again, we're gonna put 1 point into everything because having access is really good for them. Not necessarily good for me because I don't use it too often, but it's definitely really good for them. All right, so I'll at least get 3 points in Arms Master. This is a little bit easier for me because fortification doesn't sound all that great. He reinforces his armor, right? but the melee damage is not that great for me. I don't want him to use melee. I'd rather him do grenades, so let's upgrade his grenades up to level 3 and carnage up to level 3. Incendiary ammo, I don't remember liking that one all that much, so hopefully it's the same this time. So, alright, that's gonna work out well. We're gonna stick with just these 3. So, damage or impact radius. With a grenade, I feel like... You know what? That's already a huge radius, so let's expand it. That's a huge radius. Alright, and then carnage, impact radius. See, that radius is not worth it, so we'll upgrade the damage instead. 1.5 meters to like 2-point-something meters, that's not worth it. We'll increase his weapon damage bonus. Probably gonna be better for him. And then that should do it there. And you know what? It's probably time for me to go into the journal. Mission summary, priority Mars. Admiral Hackett ordered the Normandy to Mars to locate the new Prothean data that could help defeat the Reapers, but the archives on Mars are not responding. Investigate the dig site and find the Prothean data. All right, let's take a look at the codex. I assume that same thing, primary stuff they're going to talk, secondary stuff I'm going to talk. All right, aliens council species.
The Asari were the first species to discover the Citadel.
All right, this is stuff that we have seen before. Well, it looks like this stuff is new, so let's go ahead and look at humanity and the Systems Alliance. I cut out all this stuff up here because it seemed like stuff that we had seen before, but this one's new.
Earth, the home world and capital of humanity, was enjoying a new golden age before the Reapers attacked. Disease, pollution, and other social ills were on the decline, thanks to technological advances and a wealth of resources from the colonies. Earth was an inspiration even to alien cultures, resulting in influence out of proportion with humanity's brief time on the galactic stage. The Reaper attack has put an end to any semblance of this former life. The great cities of Earth are storehouses of human DNA for the Reapers to harvest. Reaper gunships, capable of megaton-scale firepower, annihilated industrial centers in seconds. The militaries of Earth's disparate nation-states have retained only partial communication with the Systems Alliance fleets, leaving the planet's resistance efforts uncoordinated and vulnerable. The loss of the comm-buoy network has cut off Earth's economy from the rest of the galaxy, sending shockwaves across galactic markets and a significant obstacle to receiving aid.
Let's look at the Systems Alliance then.
The Systems Alliance is an independent supranational government representing the interests of humanity as a whole. The Alliance is responsible for the governance and defense of all extrasolar colonies and stations. The Alliance grew out of the various national space programs as a matter of practicality. Sol's planets had been explored and exploited through piecemeal national efforts. The expense of colonizing entire new solar systems could not be met by any one country. With humans knowing that alien contact was inevitable, there was enough political will to jointly fund an international effort. Still, the Alliance was often disregarded by those on Earth until the First Contact War. While the national governments dithered and bickered over who should lead the effort to liberate Shanxi, the Alliance fleet struck decisively. Post-war public approval gave the Alliance the credibility to establish its own parliament and become the galactic face of humanity.
All right, let's take a look at known associates. Yeah, if the stuff up here is indeed stuff we haven't heard before, you'll have to let me know. I just kind of briefly went over it, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds familiar. So maybe it was slightly changed, but as far as I could tell, it's the same. So looks like most of the stuff down here is going to be new. So known associates, that's a whole new category, so it's got to be new, right?
Admiral Stephen Hackett is a decorated officer in the Systems Alliance, currently assigned to Arcturus Station on the far side of the Sol Relay. In the battle for the Citadel, Admiral Hackett commanded the 5th Fleet. Following that victory, he was promoted to head of the Alliance military. Hackett was born to a single mother in Buenos Aires in 2134. When his mother died in the pandemic of 2146, he was placed in the Advanced Training Academy for Juveniles, where his superior talents in science and leadership quickly became evident. Hackett enlisted in 2152, volunteering for high-risk missions to colonize space beyond the Sol Relay. He was commissioned as a second lieutenant on Arcturus Station in 2156, and soon proved his ability in the First Contact War. His rare ascent from enlisted man to admiral remains an Alliance legend.
Good for him. He worked his way up. Yeah, I like him. I had to think about it. I'm like, wait, he's not Anderson. Do I like him? Yeah, he's all right. David Anderson, I've always liked you.
Admiral David Edward Anderson is a career military officer in the Systems Alliance Navy. Born in London in 2137, he later moved to Arcturus Station and became the first graduate of the Alliance's now renowned N7 Marine program. Anderson is one of the Alliance's most decorated Special Forces operatives, and served with honor during the First Contact War. He was the original captain of the SSV Normandy before relinquishing command to his XO, Commander Shepard. After the Alliance victory in the Battle of the Citadel, Anderson briefly served as the Citadel's first human counselor. He soon became embroiled in a Cerberus plot to abduct his friend Kaylee Sanders, however, and learned that he was unable to live a life without action. He stepped down as counselor and returned to the military to prepare for the Reaper invasion. The Alliance Parliament named Donald Udina as his successor.
Udina's the one that I hate. Ashley, I like.
Lieutenant Commander Ashley Williams is a career military officer with the Systems Alliance. Born in 2158 to a military family, Williams enlisted directly out of high school, splitting time between Earth and hostile environment training on Titan. After earning numerous commendations early in her career, Williams became a platoon guide on Eden Prime, where she was the only member of her unit to survive the Geth attack. Williams then served as gunnery chief under Commander Shepard on the SSV Normandy, and was promoted to lieutenant commander after the Battle of the Citadel. More recently, an Alliance tribunal called on Williams to testify about her experience with the Reapers.
Wait, if she was promoted after the Battle of the Citadel, why didn't we find out about that in Mass Effect 2? Oh well. Joker's real name is Jeff, and Edie always calls him Mr. Moreau.
Flight Lieutenant Jeff Joker Moreau is a respected pilot with the Alliance Navy. Born and raised on Arcturus Station, he is widely considered to be the best helmsman in the Systems Alliance. Moreau enlisted with the Navy directly out of school and quickly gained the respect of his superiors. He served as pilot of both the Normandy SR-1 and its successor, the SR-2, and was at their respective helms during the Battle of the Citadel and the assault on the Collectors. Moreau suffers from Vrolik's syndrome, a rare debilitating disorder also known as brittle bone disease.
And yet he did not become a supervillain. All right, so let's see. Ships and vehicles, we might see some repeats here.
Cerberus built the Normandy SR-2 as a second-generation version of the Alliance frigate SSV Normandy after the Collectors destroyed the original. The SR-2's many alterations produced a craft nearly double the original size, requiring an even larger Tantalus drive core to compensate. Its state-of-the-art Kodiak shuttle can make landings the original Normandy could not attempt. The Enhanced Defense Intelligence, an AI known colloquially as EDI, coordinates many of the ship's combat functions, assisting and even supplanting human piloting. The Alliance has recently appropriated and refurbished the SR-2. In addition to tight beam communicators, the Quantum Entanglement Communicator, QEC, provides instantaneous contact with Alliance Command.
Somehow continuously. All right, that one did sound new, which has thrown me off because maybe some of the other stuff was new, but like I said, it sounded the same. So if you want me to go over it, I can. But let's look at the armor upgrade. The Solaris armor. I did do a lot of work to get this stuff done.
Asari-made Solaris armor can resist even the tremendous heat and kinetic energy of starship weapons. The armor is nearly unsurpassed in strength, because its central material, carbon nanotube sheets woven with diamond chemical vapor deposition, are crushed by mass effect fields into super dense layers, able to withstand extreme temperatures. That process also compensates for the diamond's brittleness. Diamond armor itself has two limiting disadvantages. First, while nanotubes and CVD diamond construction have become cheaper in recent years, it remains prohibitively expensive to coat starships or aircraft larger than fighters in Solaris material. Second, the armor must be attached to the ship's superstructure, so shock waves from massive firepower can still destroy the metals beneath the armor itself. A popular misconception holds that the diamond composition of Solaris armor gives it a sparkle. In fact, atmospheric nitrogen impurities during the super-hot forging process give the armor a metallic gray or yellow sheen.
Actually, I feel like we've heard that one before, but it's a good reminder, I guess, as opposed to the races, which, like, trust me, we know.
Cyclonic barrier technology, CBT, attempts to solve the higher-end limitations of traditional kinetic barriers. Traditional barriers cannot block high-level kinetic energy attacks, such as disruptor torpedoes, because torpedo mass effect fields add mass. The CBT violently slaps aside rather than halting incoming linear force. By rotationally firing their mass effect field projectors, ships create rapidly oscillating kinetic barriers instead of static ones. Shooting through the CBT is like trying to shoot at a target inside a spinning ball. Significant drawbacks to current CBT configuration prevent its use on anything other than frigates and fighters. Its many high-frequency sensors and emitters require frequent maintenance and replacement. A partially damaged CBT can endanger its operator, who is surrounded by rotating mass effect fields, skewing in unpredictable directions. Fortunately, if an emitter is damaged, the CBT corrects to become a traditional shield array, a safety feature that makes it most effective during opening volleys.
Very complicated stuff that we're doing here. Tell me about the cannon now.
After the Battle of the Citadel, human and Turian volunteers spent 3 months clearing the station's orbit of debris. During the cleanup, the Turians secretly salvaged Sovereign's powerful main gun, along with much of the weapon's Element Zero core. 11 months later, the Turians introduced the Thanix, a scaled-down version of the weapon. The Thanix's core is a liquid alloy of iron, uranium, and tungsten, suspended in an electromagnetic field powered by Element Zero. The molten metal, accelerated to a significant fraction of the speed of light, solidifies into a projectile as it is fired, hitting targets with enough force to pierce any known shield or armor. The gun can fire reliably every 5 seconds. The weapon's relatively small size allows it to be mounted on most fighters or frigates. It is now widely used by the Alliance military and is the primary weapon on the refurbished Normandy SR-2.
Which we're kind of in control of. All right, let's take a look at technology then.
Biotics is
all
the
right, we're
ability
gonna
of
skip
rare individuals
these.
to manipulate dark energy and create mass effect.
The Reapers, though, should be new.
The Reaper, called Harbinger, is believed to be the oldest and largest in the Reaper Armada. From the reaches of dark space, Harbinger managed to control the Collectors, a race of human-sized insectoid bipeds, as it sent them on a campaign to kill and gather humans from vulnerable colonies. The Collectors became a terrifying force in the galaxy, responsible for the murder of hundreds of thousands. Surviving colonists have described the tone of Harbinger's threats heard through the Collectors as they attacked as visceral and terrifying. Alliance intelligence has tentatively identified Harbinger as one of the Reapers leading the attack on Earth.
So Harbinger was a Reaper the whole time? I figured he was like the hive mind of the Collectors. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but I don't think they made that too clear for me. All right, let's hear about the Reapers in general.
A myth common to several cultures in the galaxy, Reapers were once imagined as space monsters that consumed entire stars. Archaeologists who searched for the sources of such myths found little besides the themes of all-consuming devils that are common to primitive cultures. Although accurate information about the Reapers remains scarce, the galaxy now knows that the Reapers are not a myth. They are a real and devastating threat.
And totally not the Shadows.
Sovereign was the first Reaper encountered by the modern Citadel races. Military leaders initially assumed that Sovereign was a Geth or Prothean flagship commanded by Saren Arterius, a rogue Spectre. The truth was far more alarming. The massive ship was itself intelligent, and Saren proved to be under its control. The attacks by Sovereign against Eden Prime and the Citadel removed any uncertainty about the Reaper's technological superiority. Sovereign's formidable shielding and firepower allowed it to hold off the combined fleets of the Citadel, and its mass effect fields proved powerful enough to let the enormous vessel land on a planet's surface. Sovereign's mission, to open a mass relay that would transport the other Reapers from dark space, proved its undoing. During the Battle of the Citadel, Sovereign linked its consciousness to Saren's. When Saren's death corrupted the signal and shut down Sovereign's shields, Sovereign's destruction soon followed.
So what they're saying is we got lucky.
Cannibals are frontline Reaper units created from corrupted Batarians. The nickname refers to their propensity to devour the bodies of fallen comrades. This triggers a biochemical process through which the cannibals spontaneously heal themselves and grow new chitinous armor. The transformation also appears to give cannibals a greater awareness of their surroundings, leading to more strategic behavior and careful use of battlefield cover.
Chitinous? I've never heard it referred to that way. I've always heard chitinous, but all right, if he says so. So, hooray! They're the new standard enemy. They've got faces on their shoulders.